Hello everyone, Blitz11 here. I'm going to be reviewing Spider-Man Brand New Day. I tried doing a review on this unscripted, but I was bad at it, and I'm still going to keep that video up no matter what. This is the best Spider-Man movie ever. Yes, I said it. I'm not taking it back. Tom Holland has brought out his A game here, and he did his best. And I am a Tom Holland supporter. Always liked him during Infinity War, Endgame, Homecoming, the Home Trilogy, and Civil War. He is very good. I can debate he's going to be my second or first one. Again, he's a great Spider-Man and a great Peter Parker. And I'm a defender. And this is coming from a Sam Raimi fan, a Tobey fan. Yeah, Tom Holland's a great Spider-Man, and I'm not taking it back. This is your spoiler warning, so watch at your own risk, and don't leave any song requests on this video. I'm uploading this on both of my channels. This film has a new director. They replaced John Watts, the director of the Home Trilogy, with the director of Shang-Chi for like a new style. My one complaint for now has nothing to do with the movie, but I sat in the front row, which is really not comfortable. My theater was packed, and I didn't even go to an AMC. Those front row seats are very uncomfortable at best. I was working very close at the screen, and my neck hurts. Yeah, my neck was hurting like a lot, and I don't know if it was between me or just sitting in the front row, a lack of sleep, or just sitting in the front row in general. Was having like an uncomfortable time because you're so close to the screen and you can barely see what's happening. Like everything's like fast moving forward. That's probably just due to being sitting in the front row seat, and I didn't like it at all. After the events of No Way Home, the spell that made everyone forget Peter. So yeah, okay, I'm the one that wrote this script. What is wrong with me? After the events of No Way Home, the spell that made everyone forget Peter Parker so he can protect the ones close to him. I'm leaving that in, by the way. He isolated himself from everyone so he can be alone to handle this burden of responsibility to stop bad guys so they can't connect him to his loved ones. He's alone, he's depressed, and desperate for human connection, but knows he can't. I'm going to get this off the table. Sadie Sink is Jean Grey and is the main villain in the movie. I will say that Marvel did a great job at keeping it a secret. I say I wasn't surprised or expected it, but I didn't want a Spider-Man film to introduce mutants. I get he's connected to them in a way, but I wanted another film to introduce them, and I get why they are doing it. For successful films for characters they know will succeed, and the last few years has not been good for Marvel. So Peter is struggling between if he wants to be Spider-Man or Peter Parker throughout the film. He is suppressing his human side to him. It's flip-flopping between light and dark, an emotional thing to him, where the spider side to him is taken over, letting a darker side to him out. It feels like he already has the symbiote, but I don't think he does. He keeps bringing up the note he wrote to her in the last part of No Way Home to reminisce on memories of it. The first 10 minutes is a montage of Peter being Spider-Man, stopping crime of a bunch of the obscure villains, and recreating a bunch of comic covers. It's cool. Tombstone is one he stops, and I feel like he's a villain that shouldn't be wasted like that. Maybe he'll come back, but who knows. Tombstone is worthy enough to be like a movie villain, but I just did use him as a montage villain. And again, he's played by the guy who played in Black Lightning. I forget his name, but the albino one. He got the key to the city. One thing, I haven't watched the second season of Daredevil Born Again, so I don't know if it's connected or not. Like, they're doing the whole weird thing that the TV shows are no longer connected. In a way, like Whistling Fist, Kingpin became mayor in Daredevil Born Again, but I guess he's no longer mayor. Whatever they're doing, they like to use that whole joke that they met but they don't met. It's a big city literacy. They're uptown but we're downtown or something like that. But yeah. So yeah, he's living alone, watching TikToks of Ned and MJ of their time in college. Checking in on them, or just stalking them, either one, and he's maintaining his tech at the same time. The annoying part of this is the product placement of the Little Caesar pizza. It's weird. He's working with the Mirror to uncover this conspiracy that's going on. She doesn't know who Peter Parker is, by the way. He gets crime alerts on his phone to go after the criminals. So he goes chasing this tank that's causing chaos and saving civilians. He gets hit by a truck driven by the Punisher, and Peter is telling him to go home, and Frank is trying to handle stuff like this his own way, and blasts him with a grenade launcher, and Spider-Man knocks him out of his car. He almost cusses, but Spider-Man just webs his mouth, so he doesn't do that. He causes the tank to crash into a damage control center where he sees who's driving it, and it was an old woman, and notices something weird where he sees a presence jumping from person to person and follows it. And Jean is mind controlling officers. They have Scorpion locked up, and they finally use the Scorpion after 10 years. Even though he's just in it for 2 to 3 scenes, I'm glad they had the payoff to use him. She changes the location of lockup of Scorpion and tries to get into Spider-Man's mind, but she can't, and gets away. And Peter leaves to clean up for the professionals. He goes to the New Avengers Elena for help, and the Thunderbolts, for help, and tries to get information, but tells them that is above their pay grade, and uses this analogy to compare threats. And I hate it. I don't like it at all. That street crime is small potato stuff that Spider-Man deals with, and world-ending and space threats are big potato stuff that they deal with. And tells him that he's not alone in this, that he has some friends that he has. Something like that. Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, God. No, I'm not. I don't like using that word anymore. He goes to damage control and talks to the director and tries to help catch who's behind the attacks. Ned is in this movie, is just there sometimes. Peter sees him having an awkward conversation in a shop and follows him back to his apartment where there's a party, and goes into his room and sees the Lego figures and remembers the fun times he used to have, and sees the wall as Spider-Man. Ned created a tracker because he thinks there's some weird connection between him and Spider-Man, since he kept saving them, and wants to unmask him just to say thank you. And he has his suspicions of who it could be. He meets Ned and MJ, but they don't remember him, and introducing himself as Maynard. I know, it's weird. I know he has that weird stuff. He's awkward, like me. That's good. Yeah, and gives him flowers as a housewarming gift. Throughout this entire film, Peter buys flowers to remember his Aunt May. It's pretty sad. Him going through that tough times. Peter sees MJ with her new boyfriend and leaves the party, having a mental breakdown, remembering the sacrifice he made and the loss of his Aunt May. He passes out and wakes up in a web cocoon. Peter is going through some metamorphosis where his spider side is coming out and he's having a hard time suppressing it. He's growing organic webs. He's growing organic webbing. He can't control his abilities and can't have both organic. He can't have both. And can't have both organic and web shooters at the same time. He mentioned Tobey's Spider-Man. It was a cool nod to the last movie, and when he's trying to test them, he was squirting out all over the place. I'm not making this up. He's struggling to keep it under wraps and losing himself to his anger, so he's trying to make a chip that suppresses it and failing to make it work. He goes to Bruce Banner to get some advice to keep it under control. Jean Grey is looking for something called VMAX, and she thinks it's connected to her sister. She has a flashback later with her and her sister of Sarah, or the sister's name, teaching her how to use the powers, and getting captured by damage control. And she's destroying damage control. Jean in the present is destroying damage control departments to look into it. She mind controls Scorpion to look for it, and Spider-Man stops him by losing control and hurting somebody on the way there. Well, not on the way there, but after beating Scorpion to a bloody pulp, in a way. Jean threatens MJ and wants Spider-Man to stop coming after her, and he is angry and chasing her down and chasing her down to stop her from getting to MJ, while she's mind controlling her way to her. And Peter is struggling due to the metamorphosis, and manages to stop her by figuring out the mind control's range. It's like 30 feet or something like that. Gotta breathe. Gotta breathe. I hate using that word now because I kept using it in my old review. Spider-Man makes his way to MJ and tells her to come with him because she's in danger. They are on this rooftop and she rolls up his mask and kisses him and took off his mask, and this part was about to make me crash out. That kissing him made her remember him, and I swear if some Disney True Love's kiss was going to break the spell and make her remember him, I'm going to start a war on potato farmers. But thank God they didn't do that. It was Jean Grey mind controlling her. Peter threatens her to get out of her body, and she does, and Peter agrees to anything she says just for her not to hurt her anymore, and he gets a facial scan to track her of Jean Grey. Peter takes her to Frank's place to protect her. He has a conversation about being secretive, and she helps with the chip to suppress his spider side. Jean is attacking Damage Control Center, mind controlling the Hawk using the Smart Arc version, and Peter goes in to stop it alone, and MJ tells Frank to go help him. He shows up and tries to help, but the bullets aren't helpful, and I just love Frank's reaction to this, to fighting the Hawk, since he's not suited for situations like this. He was about to ship his pants Kmart style. I love the dynamic with Frank and Peter constantly bickering with each other like they know each other for years, but they never show us how they met. I guess it's a big city, small city thing. Frank deals with Jean but gets mind controlled. Peter deals with the Hawk, trying to put that chip on him, but keeps getting knocked around. He managed to calm him down, but she awoke in the salvage Hawk, and the fight is amazing. And he does talk him out of it. Jean gets to the director of Damage Control. Spider-Man comes in, puts the chip on her, suppressing her powers, saving them. The guards did get injured before passing out. The guards did get injured, but before Jean passes out, she tells him the name of Sarah. The director lied about the name to him, though. MJ found the note and learned the truth, but doesn't love Peter because she doesn't know and doesn't remember him. Deep down, we all felt that for him. And if we were in his shoes, no criminal in the city would feel safe that night. They left it open that she might remember him in the future or something. So they left that moment open that she might remember. He takes her back to the apartment and hangs out with Ned a little bit and realizes that the director of Damage Control lied to him and goes off to save Jean. And Frank is following him using the spider tracker. Jean wakes up strapped and being tested on by Damage Control to control her powers, and asks what they did to her sister. And in the middle of being tortured, she realized that the VMAX she was looking for was a vent. I know it was a stupid plot line anyway, but either way, with half the logo missing, and she loses control and figures out her sister is dead, and creates a giant paralyzing field, trapping and controlling all the Damage Control soldiers and a ton of civilians who are caught in the field, and wants to kill the Damage Control director. Spider-Man shows up, fights the soldiers and the hand at the same time, trying to get to Jean, and Jean is controlling them to fight and kill Peter. In the middle of the fight, she asks him what's the point of him fighting since he has no one, and chooses to abandon the human side of him and asks if he's Peter or Spider-Man. He takes off his mask and the suppressor chip and thinks on the moment and realizes he is both, and defeats the hand and the soldiers and makes his way to Jean. At the same time all of this is going down, Frank avoids the mind control field and gets on a rooftop with a sniper and wants to kill Jean to handle things his way. Peter talks with Jean not to take the director's life and let her see inside his mind of what's been going on with him. Having a talk with Aunt May, and it turns into Jean talking with Aunt May that her powers don't make who they are, and not the reason people are there for them, but they're for who they are. Peter says that she has him and she's not alone, saving her and everyone else until he jumps in her way, taking a bullet that Frank shot. She's trying to help him, but Peter tells him he's going to be alright and tells her to leave. Scene cuts to Frank taking Peter to the hospital, with news outlets talking about it, and the people of the city coming to show their support and love for Spidey. And this is where I shed a few tears, where the city supports Spider-Man and thought he was going to die. He wasn't, for obvious reasons, but it was still a great emotional moment. He wakes up and has a heartwarming conversation with Frank, and he sees his real face. Frank helps Peter escape the hospital from being unseen by putting on the mask and being Spidey. Peter walks out, and people are cheering by looking out the window where Frank is pretending to be Spider-Man. I thought I saw Mr. Beast in the background of the crowd, but I could be imagining things. Jimmy, if you're watching this, can you confirm that? This kid looks at Peter, and Peter does the whole web thrip thing, and the kid smiles and goes back to cheer on Spidey. Could be a nod that could be Miles or the next Spider-Man. Peter went on his merry way, and you see everyone else going on their own way, like Jean leaving. He talks with the mayor about opening up and resting with the things he's been through. He sees Ned in a shop and goes to introduce himself again, and does their handshake, with Ned saying Peter. He probably or probably not remembers Peter, so who knows. The movie ends there. There's one scene I forgot to mention. While Peter takes MJ back to her apartment, he and Ned has like a fun time together, like playing with the Legos, but he keeps the mask on. But there's a scene that he realized that the director lied to him, talks to Elena about the whole situation, and he jumps to leave out the window, and MJ just says his real name. That could be the part where he remembers Peter, where he remembers the name Peter, but whatever. The film has one post-credit scene. It's where Ned's spider tracker of Spider-Man zooms out of Earth and detects another Spider-Man in space. So this could be a Ned of Peter, Miles, or Venom, since he can mimic Spider-Man stuff. This is setting up Doomsday or Secret Wars, so we have to wait to find out. This whole movie is about change and accepting who you are, and that's what I love about it. And they didn't do a whole lot of jokes. It seems a bit odd since Spider-Man's character is always about being jokey and quippy. Things I love in the movie: I love Peter. Peter Parker was great. Tom brought out his A game. Tom brought out his A game. MJ was good. I love the dynamic with Frank and Peter. I feel like Frank stole the show, but he wasn't in it that much, but he always had a perfect amount of screen time. The action is great. Sadie Sink did a great job as Jean. I love the Easter eggs and references to a lot of stuff. Things I'm mixed on. Again, I said this earlier. I don't want a Spider-Man movie to introduce mutants. I get he has some connections to them, but I want another MCU project or an MCU X-Men film to do that. There isn't a whole lot of Ned. I don't find that much of a bother, but could have at least another scene of him. I wanted more Scorpion in the movie. I don't like how Tombstone was just a montage villain. They could save him for another movie. A lot of people were mixed on MJ and Ned being in the movie because we want to see other Spider-Man characters like Harry and Gwen. We might see them in the future, but we have to wait and see. And I wanted a moment where he gets the symbiote suit, but I guess they are saving that for Secret Wars. I did say this in my Spider-Man Funko review, but I want Tom Holland to get the symbiote suit and lose control. I kind of want a rated R moment with the symbiote suit losing control and breaking bones and losing himself to the venom, the darkness, with all what has happened to him. I feel like it's a good moment to get the symbiote suit with all his pent up rage, sorrow, and guilt, and losing the trust of the city and making everyone afraid, and Jameson afraid. To have a moment and to have a moment to be brought back to the light. And I want them to make sure he wears the symbiote suit for multiple films. And I don't want to wait several decades for something like that, for something like this to happen. Not with the next Spider-Man. I think we all want a moment like this. Probably just me, but whatever. My nitpicks and criticisms of the film. Some green screen and CGI looks weird sometimes, and Tom Holland looks uncomfortable in the suit sometimes. I like the suit, but he does look awkward in it. Sometimes. Hulk and Punisher feels like they were just thrown in the movie. Hulk and Punisher feels like they were just thrown in there just to make the first scenes filled out. And because it seems Marvel doesn't know what to do with them half the time. They are likable characters, and Marvel can't make a Hulk film without Universal's permission. And I want J.K. Simmons as Jonas Jameson in the film to balance out the love-hate relationship Spider-Man has with the city. The film does feel overstuffed sometimes, but did manage to balance it out. And the Punisher does feel watered down. And the product placement does get annoying, especially with the Little Caesars. And they did a pretty good job with the ground in the movie, make it being like a more grounded film, and with the whole magic side to it a bit, with the whole Jean Grey stuff. This film is getting hate, but that's mostly due to Tom Holland haters, Raimi fans, and the Snyder cult. They hate everything. But it's an entertaining movie, a great one at that. During the 5 years between No Way Home and Brand New Day, and I'm talking about real life here, there was a whole lot of discourse on it. Sony wanted it to be another multiverse movie, but Kevin Feige and Tom Holland wanted it to be a grounded film, and it looks like we got the grounded version, and that's a good thing. This is the best live-action Spider-Man film in a long time, and I'm saying that as a fact. I'm not taking it back. But the Spider-Verse films are better. But beyond better, have the payoff to top it all off. But beyond the Spider-Verse, better have the payoff to top it all off. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. There's a few things I do have issues with it, like I said. If you saw the movie, tell me down below in the comments below. Tell me in the comments down below. That's all I have for this video. Bye.